Hey, this is Wanker Reviews, and I'll be doing a video on Serenity, starring Anne Hathaway and Matthew McConaughey, about a man who's a fisherman, played by Matthew McConaughey, who gets a surprise visit from his ex-wife, played by Anne Hathaway, and she offers him $10 million in order to kill her current abusive husband. And just based on, I saw a little bit of the trailer and I did read a little bit of the bio in Wikipedia. And I honestly thought that this was going to be like a straightforward, step-by-step thriller. And I don't mind that at all. I really like thrillers. But going into this movie, it's a little bit more than that. It actually has a fantasy feel to it. It really reminded me, like there were some parts in this movie that reminded me of the movie Frequency with Dennis Quaid that came out in 2000. Also, it has, yeah, it does have like a sci-fi little twist in here. Like some of the editing choices in this were very like zany, were very quirky. Like in it, watching the movie, some of these editing choices and some of these artistic choices, I should say, didn't really fit, and it kind of came out of nowhere, and it does kind of take you out of the movie at first. And it, like if you've seen the butterfly effect, it has like a little like sci-fi-ness to it without giving any spoilers. Just to say, like, this isn't just a straightforward movie about a woman trying to kill her husband so she can get his money, and her ex-husband is trying to get back with her. It's nothing, it really doesn't, it's really not like that. There's, like, if you watch the movie, it's a very weird movie as it goes along. And just to stick with the positives, I like the fact that it's not very predictable. It seems like it's going to be predictable, but it's not. The movie does start to pick up for me when Anne Hathaway comes into the movie and introduces herself. And the acting is really great. I think Matthew and Anne have great chemistry together. They work well together. But my problem with this is that it does seem to drag a little bit, and it drags on because the plot becomes very confusing. And again, it has to do with the fantasy feel to it. It's like, it has like a fantasy, like how do I explain this? It has a fantasy feel, like a sci-fi feel to it, and that's what makes this movie so confusing at times because you really don't know what's going on. Anne Hathaway and Matthew McConaughey have a son together, and the plot involves the son that Matthew hasn't seen in years, and it involves a video game, and it's just very, very confusing. And towards the middle, no, not, yeah, towards the middle of the movie, it does kind of drag on because you really don't know where the movie is taking you. You don't really understand what the point of all of this is. Like, you really don't understand what the point of the movie is. But the movie really does start to pick up during the last act, and the last act is very satisfying. I thought it was very well done, and it made me really like this movie. But when watching this movie, you really have to sit and roll with the punches in order to appreciate the ending. Because it really did lose me towards the middle. Like, I was very confused. I honestly did not understand what was going on. And then as the movie kept going along, I started to understand what was happening, and that's why I started to enjoy this movie. And I really, really did love this twist. And there's a really huge twist that I won't give away, but it really is satisfying. It's a really great movie, and I would give this a 6 out of 10. Also, there were scenes in here that, with Diane Lane and her character, I honestly don't understand why Diane Lane was in this movie. Like, while watching it, She just seemed like I didn't understand the point of her character for most of the movie, because for most of the movie she's just a booty call to Matthew McConaughey. So she really doesn't have much to do except do sex scenes and wear a skimpy robe and look out a window constantly. So that's what she's doing for most of the movie.